that if I do certain tasks and input my energy in certain places, I will receive an equal proportion an output that is relevant to the input. If you do his ab routine, his biohacking routine for 3 months, you'll get shredded. In success, you have these recipes and these ingredients. So I've allocated 10% of my net worth, which is really big chunk of money, into Meta. And I like levered into the trade between $97 and $77. And I think it's at like 180 now. Almost 100% return on my 10%.
Are you planning for the future? What are some of your plans? What are you thinking about?
So it's interesting. I often get asked, what are your goals? I don't have goals. Goals are stupid in my opinion. And I don't mean goals as in like, oh, I'm going to get fit. No, I mean like, oh, I'm going to be a billionaire. That's a stupid goal because that's an output goal, right? And people focus on the output versus the input. Mm-hmm. So my mindset on the day-to-day basis is, what do I have to do today that I know that I need to do today with excellence? Right. So I have my list of everything that I do every single day. Hang on. Let me find it to see if I can give you some clarity. I actually have it on my whiteboard here. I'm going to read some shit on my whiteboard.
Yeah, this will be super interesting.
Shit, give me a sec. Of how my day is broken down. My day is broken down and my goals are broken down by the hour. Hang on. But anyways, my morning starts at 6 a.m. The first hour of the day, I focus on stretching, I focus on supplementation, and I focus on walking and like just exercising, making sure my mobility is in check for the day. From 7 to 8, I do that. From 8 to 9, I stretch. From 8 to 9, I focus on reading and on writing and on education. So I focus on myself. Then at 9 to 11 in the morning, I have what are called my product meetings. And these are my creative intensive calls where my creative kind of like hard drive operates better during the daytime and not at nighttime. So I have my meetings then. From 11 to 1, gym. From 1 to 2, supplementation that my assistant gets me. That's my lunch, supplements, right? I'm on intermittent fasting. I'm running super smooth. From 2 to 4, admin work. So all the administrative work, calling the banks, that's the best time to do it, 2 to 4. Paperwork, all that shit. From 4 to 6, I have some other call set. I forget what it is. Oh no, I have creative. It's called creative from 4 to 6. And from 4 to 6 creative, what I focus on is creative output, creative work, all this shit. From 6 to 8, I have dinner. From 8 to 10, I read 100 to 300 pages. And by 10 o'clock, it's lights out on social media and all that shit. So sometimes you'll see me breaking my rules, but most of that's auto posting shit at like 2 a.m. and stuff like that. That's how I manage my goal setting. So Luke, what are you doing? Like, what's next? Well, what's next is tomorrow I got to wake up and do this shit.
Yeah.
Right. Tomorrow I have to wake up and do what I told myself that I was going to do. That's it. I'm not thinking about the output. The output is overwhelming because I know who I will become. Right. So I'm not focused on the output. I'm focused on the input. And by natural law, like I've said it before, the second law of thermodynamics, and I'm a big advocate for understanding and applying natural law into your business because you operate in a natural world. So you're bound by natural law. So if you understand natural law, you can utilize natural law to your advantage and understand how the world works in a systematic format. But the second law of thermodynamics, like I stated, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be what? Transformed. Right? So I'm not focused on the output because I know that the energy will be transformed. I am focused on the input of the energy in a certain way, right? Alchemically being able to turn that into success. Why? Well, because I understand through examples and through history and through testimonials that if I do certain tasks and input my energy in certain places, I will receive an equal proportion, an output that is relevant to the input. I'll give you an example. Exercising. If you do crunches with Mr. Belmar, with Nate, right? If you do his ab routine, his biohacking routine for 3 months and you're skinny, you'll get shredded. Why? Because there's enough testimonials in history that if you input this in your life, the output is guaranteed. Now, the output will look a little bit different for one person. The output will look a little bit different for another person, but it's the same thing as following a recipe. You and I can have the same recipe, but your chocolate chip cookies might taste slightly different, but you still followed the recipe, right? So in success, you have these recipes and these ingredients. So I built my daily goal list based off of understanding what each thing will yield in the future. And instead of focusing on yielding that in the future, I'm focusing on making sure that I plant the seeds today so that the fruit can be ripe and ready for the picking in due time. Most people are impatient, like Gary Vee says, in the micro. And your goal is to be patient in the, impatient in the micro, impatient in the macro. Long-term delaying of gratification, reducing your dopamine, and really being in a situation where you're in control. I see you lagging there a little bit. Are you losing me or are you hearing me loud and
no,
clear?
I hear you perfectly. I hear you perfectly fine.
So that's my perspective on goals, G. Like my perspective on goals are very straightforward. I'm not focused on the output. It's too overwhelming. I'm focused on the input, and I know that I'll be taken care of. It's great. It's a good way to live, bro. It's a great way to live.
It is. It's present, and that, like you said, bro, the present is all we have. So ultimately, that's what you should be optimizing for, is what you're doing right now. Not so much what you're going to be doing in the future. That's all talk as well. Like you're saying, like actions and results are really the only measures, right? Like of your character and I guess success as well too. So really why I was asking is because I'm trying to get some information from you on the money markets. What are you doing investment wise? Are you in the markets? Are you taking money out? I know Shopify was real good.
Yeah, so I made a couple of really good calls on my Twitter at Luke Belmar, where I mentioned some fundamentally some stocks that were extremely sound to purchase long term. So I allocated 10% of my net worth, which is a really big chunk of money, into Meta, and I like levered into the trade between $97 and $77. I don't think it tapped 77, and I think it's at like 180 now. So I'm at almost 100% return on my 10%. I cashed that out, I think, on Monday. And I did Shopify as well. I cashed out on Shopify, I think it was like February 3rd. And I re-entered Shopify today, February 16th, after earning call dump, because obviously it made sense that their 2022 was not going to be as good as before because of the entire supply chain dilemma and advertising costs and all these issues that people have been having. But I still understood that the rally up to that news or that event was going to be crazy because people had expectations.